Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Gem Science channel. I am here today with Alex Mcmillan. Alex, very excited to have you with us. Alex is a high performance coach for entrepreneurs. He's a certified Augmandino coach. He is the IDEA International Fitness Program Director of the Year recipient. And he also won the Better Business Bureau Large Business of the Year award as well. So welcome, Alex. We're super excited to have you here with us.
Well, I'm excited to be here. Thank you for having me, Emily. It's an honor.
Thank you. So just to start, Alex, can you tell me a little bit more about yourself and who you help?
Yeah, I love working with passionate people who are life influencers. These are people who consider themselves as game changers. They don't look at themselves as just a personal trainer or a fitness club owner or a gym owner. They look at themselves as somebody who lifts life to another level for people. And they are people who definitely consider themselves to be somebody who wants to achieve more. They're never satisfied with what they created. Familiar? I hope we've got the right audience here. Are we connecting with you, Emily? I help you.
Yes, and we definitely all need a little bit of help in that arena for sure. Can you tell me just a little bit more about your story and how you ended up helping this specific niche?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, first off started off overweight. I grew up on welfare. I was about 50 pounds overweight as a child. Along with that comes a lot of self-esteem challenges usually, and I had those. I had a big cover up where I would always try and impress people, became a really good talker, learned how to get along with various people to fit in, got to a point where it was just like overwhelming in life and got to a really depressed spot in my life. And, I could have either gained another 50, could have gone on to the welfare system and stayed there. But as I got to close to the age of 19, started becoming more independent, I just met the right people at the right time. Somebody smacked me upside of the head at one of the jobs I had and said, "You need to get your fat butt in the gym."
Well,
I know.
to that person.
I know Jesse. I know exactly. He looked like a Filipino Adonis. He looked like Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson looking down at me. And I'm in the sales office and I look up at this guy, and instead of just jumping up like we did from where I was in the kind of the housing projects where I grew up, that would have been a fight, but it's Dwayne Johnson standing over you, right? And I said, "Okay, what time do you go?" And long story short is I went to the gym with these guys, and 6 months later, 50 pounds lighter, looked and felt amazing. Everybody wanted to know, how did you do it? How did you make the change? But I really didn't understand it. So I started educating myself, and a mentor took me under his wing. He owned the Portland area. And instead of kicking me out of the gym for bringing friends in and training them, right, he said, "I want to give you a job." And boy, I ended up on AM Northwest as a trainer, training people on TV with this guy. I ended up helping facilitate gyms. And then eventually I opened up my own little studio and had some success. That success led to some awards. It led to speaking internationally. And long story short, I got super passionate. And, we'll start there with that's how I got started.
Okay, awesome. So you kind of had your own fitness business, then you graduated more to actually helping fitness business owners.
Mm-hmm.
So can you tell me a little bit more about what is the problem that you solve? What are you mainly working with your clients on?
Yeah, I'll definitely tell you about the problem I solved. And first off, my life was the problem. I got so focused on building and creating that I actually forgot about my family.
Yeah.
And, long story short, I went too far away from really connecting with what matters most. And that ended in a divorce.
Mm-hmm.
That ended in a lot of shame. It ended in a lot of letting a lot of things down. I ended up losing $1.5 million through this whole thing. I ended up really hitting kind of a rock bottom spot of who are you?
Yeah.
And I lost my love for work and my passion. And so what I really help people solve the problem of is getting disconnected from what really matters the most and finding joy in their work and remembering why they do this, remembering themselves. If they have a family, remembering their family. If they have friends, remembering to pay attention to the relationship. If you will, what I help people do is to get unstuck out of the rat race of transacting from one thing to the next and actually find joy in the journey. So while they're building wealth and keeping their health, they're also connected to their life. Another problem that I really help people with is that place of really kind of losing just that ability to connect and relate with their team, and if they have an organization, really getting into the heart of what makes that person tick. I can list a few other things for you, and I think that they're typical, feeling underappreciated, help people with procrastination, feeling distracted or out of focus. Maybe they're preoccupied with a lot of stuff and stress in their mind. Yeah, those are problems that I solve.
That's awesome. So, and I think, as a small business owner myself, I think that we all can relate to being in that place at some point in our business journey of just feeling so bogged down and so overwhelmed with the day-to-day stuff that we have to get done to keep the doors open, to grow the business. It is very, very easy to lose sight of the passion, the purpose, the reason that you got into your business in the first place. So what are some of the ways that you help people when they're feeling stuck like that?
Yeah, one of the first things is coming back into presence and bringing awareness. And if you will, there's this thing I like to call delaminating. And sometimes we get so close to the identity of an entrepreneur that we have to make money, or so close to the identity that I'm supposed to get all of these things done, that I'm a doer. And we forget that we're a human being, not a human doing.
Yeah.
And so just that, yeah, it's an interesting thing. And we get so agenda driven that we are transacting from one thing to the next, and we're not actually breathing and being. So one of the first things I do to help them is people to become into this place of presence and awareness. And there's this saying, maybe you've heard it. It says this, it's the past is history, tomorrow is a mystery, and today is a gift. That is why it's called the present. And when we learn to embrace that as a way of life, we can start to get to this thing. And this is, I tell you, I have clients that have gone from literally on the verge of bankruptcy to making millions of dollars a year in their fitness practice and in their business. I have doctors that have gone from the point of considering ending their life and ending a marriage or ending whatever to the point where they're thriving, and now they're consulting others and they're helping other people create. And what it was that they tell me is a huge thing is I actually started enjoying being. And so I teach people that the primary purpose is to be, and learn to love that breath, that millimeter that you're in. And second purpose is to do whatever you're passionately connected to.
Yeah. So just to take that a little bit deeper, because we all know as business owners, we don't get to only do what we're passionate about, right? So how do you, how strategically do you suggest that people take that step back or be in the moment, or only focus on the things that bring them joy and fulfillment?
Yeah, well, I appreciate that. And so for the sake of our current brain's perspective, you're totally right that we don't only get to do what we're passionate about. But once you recognize that you actually have this thing called metacognition, this is a very powerful thing that we have. And scientists have proven this, neuroscientists have proven this, that as human beings, we're the only thing we know that exists that actually can be self-aware of what we're thinking. So I'll just give everybody a little taste of this. As you're watching this and you're actually aware that you're watching this, and you actually can be aware that I'm thinking that I like Alex's little sweater, or I don't like his sweater, or, Emily's got.
I love your sweater, Alex.
What's that?
I said, I love your sweater.
Thank you. This whole thing from Italy? Yeah, no. Sorry. But yes. Thank you. But yes, you can be aware, and we can be aware of how that was funny or awkward or whatever, right? It's all perspective. We can be aware that we have a perspective, or we have thoughts about our thoughts. The fact that we can do that means that we can separate ourselves a little bit from something. Now, why I took the time to explain that to you is because we have this gift, we also have the gift or the ability to assign meaning to something. And when you assign one meaning, you're going to get a certain energetic flow of not liking something, maybe. And when you assign another meaning, you're getting another energetic flow of actually liking something. So you can actually take things, if you do this properly with your brain, things that you're really not that passionate about, and actually connect what you are passionate about to that very thing that you were previously not passionate about. Now, I'll give you an example of this. Who likes going through airport security?
Not me.
A lot of people don't, right? You're taking clothes off, you're waiting in line, there's people, and who likes being crammed on that tight seat in the airplane, right?
Yeah.
But isn't it cool if you like just got an all expenses paid trip to like, Kauai or Europe, and you actually connected that you're going through security to go on that plane flight, to be on that trip?
Yeah.
And then you're bringing the joy of what you're creating into the present moment. And if you're doing that with delight, you can actually have a whole different experience.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So to answer your question strategically, I find it's everything to be able to connect passion to the millimeters of your life. And you can literally transmute or transform the things that you used to not like into things that you actually find joy in. And it's possible. And I know it because I've done it myself. I used to hate email. I used to hate follow-up. I used to hate these things. And don't get me wrong, I delegate certain things that I don't want to, do as much, but you can get closer to where you're not distracted or disturbed by these things.
So is your strategy literally to stop when you're feeling frustrated, or you don't want to follow up, or you don't want to send the email, literally to stop and sort of re-ground yourself in that reason why, or connect it to the greater purpose? Like, is that
Absolutely.
that you've developed doing literally throughout your entire day?
Yes. And there's obviously a practice. And when you exercise, you get stronger, right? So I'm not saying you can just know this information and be like, I tried it, it didn't work. That'd be like saying, here's how you pick up 1,000 pounds. Well, I tried it, it didn't work. You got to train, you got to exercise this muscle, right? And yes, so what we do is we actually face what we're distracted by instead of trying to avoid it. And we start literally using that, whatever it is that's inopportune or what we don't like, as a doorbell of awareness. And if you can get into your body for a moment and breathe and be, and just come into the present, become aware of your thoughts and your dialogue, right? That's the first step. Now, there is some steps to follow so that you can take captive certain negative self-dialogue and give it new meaning so that it doesn't have that same energetic negative pathway or whatever. You got to learn how to control the noise. But once you figure out how to do this, it's like being in the movie The Matrix, where everything just slows down and you actually can kind of take these things, and your thoughts are separate from you. And then you can decide to just it's like you're walking down a path and you see a boulder. Do you go run right into it?
Hopefully not.
Hopefully not, right? If you don't see it or you're not aware, then you might. But once you see it and you're aware, what can you do?
Yeah. Awesome. Very cool. So, as you were saying, as you were saying, definitely not something that people are going to master overnight. Do you have any additional resources if someone is wanting to dive a little bit deeper into this work?
Yeah, absolutely. And first thing I'm going to just say, let's connect this work to something really relevant. People want to make more profit, right? They want to have a better life experience. They want to feel passionately connected to life. They want to have better relationships. They want to be able to, create better wealth and health. And they want all of that. And at the same time, sometimes our mind gets caught up in fantasy. And when reality shows up different than fantasy, we just feel let down. Or when certain unexpected things happen, we feel disappointed or let down. Again, that crash that happens. So what we want to be able to do is we want to be able to get to the point where we start being able to master our own emotions. Mm-hmm. We start having the ability to create and get back into moving forward towards something. And even though these challenges exist, we start learning how to become masterful and use these challenges as the obstacles as the actual way to our success. Just like in the gym, we use training tools like weights, dumbbells, and treadmills, which to a lot of people, they think of as like, that's going to be hard, but that's the very way to better health, is to actually do something hard, right?
Totally.
So we start facing these thoughts. And so I have a tool that's called the Habit Finder. And this Habit Finder tool basically accurately mathematically assesses which of your thoughts that are going on in your head are downright sabotaging you from creating what you want. They keep blocking you. And so entrepreneurs have a natural feeling of achievement. Everybody does. You start moving forward and then boom, you hit a place where things start getting hard for you. Most people go look for another tactic or solution or a different marketing plan, or they, oh, maybe I want to try and do this kind of training and that'll be it. But what they don't do is break through that natural feeling of achievement. Well, this assessment will show you which of your thought processes have been sabotaging you. And then it will also show you which of your thought processes are absolutely ingenious levels of thinking that you should be using more.
Okay.
And then it will direct you and focus you on where you should be spending your time doing personal development, so that you're not randomly reading all kinds of books and going to seminars or hiring people that may not be the thing you need to focus your development on.
Yeah. And I think we've all been there too, where it's like kind of shot in the dark. I know I need to change. I know something isn't working, but I don't quite know the path or the way forward. So it sounds like this is something that can really help folks get some clarity around that. So we will put a link to that down in the notes. Anything else you'd like to share before we wrap up today, Alex?
Well, you know, first off, I just want to say that I love the journey I've had as a personal trainer, as I've had as a gym owner. You know, the various things that have, the awards that you talked about, or winning these things and being asked to speak, all came as a side effect of loving people. All came as a side effect of choosing to face my challenges and problems and to learn how to become better. And every single thing that I became better at required other people. It required other perspectives. So my encouragement to everyone is that you don't have to do it alone. You don't have to create success in a vacuum. By all means, get involved in a mastermind, get a coach, get somebody who's been there through the trenches. And so when I left the industry for a season of time to really go to work on myself and not identify just as a fitness professional, but as a human being, and to bring that element. And so when I started coaching other corporate owners and doctors and people who were moving in other areas, I started recognizing that these are our clients, you know, people who own these various companies and these various things. And don't get me wrong, we work with the employees and the teams of these people that are on these teams, but it's people. And so I just want to encourage everyone to not forget that you're a game changer, you're a life lifter. It's people first, it's processes second, and the profits are a side effect. It's pretty amazing.
I love that. I love that. What a great way to end. Thank you so much, Alex, for your time today. And make it a great rest of your day.
Thank you so much, Emily. I'm glad to be on.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye for now.